Greetings, dear learners. I extend a warm welcome to you for another session in our MOOC on Introduction to Distance and Digital Education. In our last session, during week 7, that is the second module titled Teacher Training Through Distance Education, we delved deeply into the discussion regarding the concept of teacher education, and we also tried to focus on teacher training through distance mode of education. Today, we will embark onto the third module of week 7, which is titled ODL Regulations for Teacher Training Program. The broad objectives of this module are to understand the need for teacher education and understand the concept of teacher education. And further, this module will also try to explain the DLED program and BEd program of NCTE, that is National Council for Teacher Education through distance mode, and understand the ODL regulations for teacher training programs in these courses. Dear learners, now let us start this module by situating the need for training for promotion and excellence among the teachers. So we all know training for teachers is a prerequisite for ensuring and upgrading quality education. Training is essential for all academicians, administrators, and policymakers, not only for upgrading their skills and capacities, but also for educating them to understand the up-to-date norms and requirements made by the statutory regulatory authorities like NCTE to form a nationalized and standardized education system all over India. For upgrading the quality of education, training for teachers at different levels of their teaching career is very necessary. So, NCTE lays the roadmap for operating and conducting teachers' training programs and has also provided, different norms and regulations as well as requirements for the various stages of education, considering the needs and requirements of teachers in general. The mandate given to the NCTE is very broad and it covers the whole gamut of teacher education programs, including research and training of persons for equipping them to teach at pre-primary, primary, secondary and senior secondary stages in schools, non-formal education, part-time education, adult education, and also distance or correspondence education, and so on. For imparting training to the teachers, like both for pre-service and in-service, the Government of India has felt the necessity of organizing various teaching or training programs which have already been launched. In India, the Right to Education Act came into effect in the year 2009, and it was reported that a large number of teachers at the elementary level were untrained. So as per the directions of MHRD, all such untrained teachers were to be trained within 2015. That's why eventually DLED was provided to the teachers who had qualified the TET examination from the period of 2012 onwards. The National Council for Teacher Education has accorded its approval to conduct this Diploma in Elementary Education, that is DLED program, for the in-service training through open and distance learning mode. Like for instance, if we consider the state of Assam, Krishnakanta Hondikoy State Open University in Guwahati got the approval for conducting the DLED program for the in-service teachers. It was NCTE that provided the pre-service training responsibility to SCERT. Concerning the training for teachers, mostly the training procedure from the NCERT at the national level, SCERT at the state level, DIET at the district level, and Colleges of Teacher Education, that is CTEs, and Institute of Advanced Studies in Education, IASEs for B.Ed program and so on are taken into consideration. Besides these, various orientation and refresher courses are conducted by academic staff colleges, STRIDE, that is Staff Training Research Institute of Distance Education, and so on, for the higher level. Through the mission approaches like Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, and Samarga Shiksha, training is considered as one of the most important intervention for the smooth functioning of the education system that will help realize the universalization of elementary and secondary education. So now, after going through the need of teacher education, let us move on to understand the concept of teacher education. You already know that in our previous module, we had discussed in detail regarding the concept of teacher education. And I hope, dear learners, you are all clear with the concept and the various issues involved in it. Today, in this video, I will just try to reiterate and highlight some of the basic points related to the same topic. So, in gist, if I could say, teacher education is a program that is related to the development of teachers' proficiency and competence that would enable and empower them to meet the requirements of their profession, and also along with that face the challenges which are within it. In between the years 1906 to 1956, the program of teachers' preparation was called teachers' training. It kind of geared up the teacher as mechanics or technicians. During this period, the training program had narrower goals, with its focus being only on skill training. So the perspective of teacher education was therefore very narrow, and the scope was also very limited. Now, teacher education encompasses all the teaching skills, professional skills, and also, along with that, the sound pedagogical theory. This can also be seen in terms of the equation. For instance, you can see it on the screen. Teacher education is equal to teaching skills plus pedagogical theory plus the professional skills. Teacher education have been defined and explained in various ways by highlighting its specificities. Some of them include a definition by Good Dictionary of Education. According to that dictionary, teacher education means all the formal and non-formal activities and experiences that helps to qualify a person to assume responsibilities of a member of the educational profession or to discharge his or her responsibilities more effectively. Likewise, the National Council for Teacher Education, NCTE, has defined teachers' education as a program of education, research, and training of persons to teach from pre-primary to higher education level. In the Encyclopedia of Education, Walter S. Monroe defined teacher education as the total education experiences which contribute to the preparation of person, but the term is completely employed to designate the program for courses and other experiences offered by an educational institute for the announced purposes of preparing different persons for teaching and other educational service. And it also helps for the contribution to their growth in competency for these services. Such teacher education programs are offered in teacher colleges, normal schools, and also different colleges and universities. If we talk about teacher training in India, there are two types of teacher education programs, namely pre-service teacher education program and in-service teacher education program. Now, pre-service teacher education is provided to the prospective teachers of pre-primary, primary, and secondary education. In-service teacher education is a continuous process which contributes to the behavioral changes of teachers in terms of acquisition of knowledge and insights, development of the right kinds of attitude and interest. For providing teacher education, there are different organizations in our country, which some of them include the National Council for Educational Research and Training, that is NCERT. Then we have National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, NIEPA. Then there is the Central Institute of Indian Languages, CIL, State Council for Educational Research and Training, SCERT, State Institute of Education, SIE, Colleges of Teacher Education, CTE, District Institute of Education and Training, that is DIET. Also, in the year 1993 in India, the National Council for Teacher Education, NCTE, was formed to provide quality teacher education. So now, after discussing the above points about teacher education and the need for teacher education, we now come to understand the distance education and DLED program of NCTE. The National Council for Teacher Education approved elementary teacher education program through open and distance system, and it was intended primarily for upgrading the professional competence of the in-service teachers in the elementary schools. This program aims to prepare teachers for the elementary stages of education, that is from classes 1 to 8. The duration of the program is of 2 academic sessions or years. However, the learners should be permitted to complete the program within a maximum period of 5 years from the date of admission into the program. Regarding the curriculum, the syllabus of DLED offered through the face-to-face mode should be transformed into distance mode consisting of blocks or unit as per the credit hours of study. The self-learning materials developed by the institution should be approved by the Distance Education Council or Bureau. Regarding the implementation of DLED program, the following points should be kept into mind. The university or institution should develop curriculum-based audio-visual resources on its own or adapt such resources from other institutions or OERs and make those audio-visual resources available at the headquarters, regional centers, and study centers. Teleconferencing facilities available at the SRCs, state government and open universities may also be utilized. Secondly, the programs shall be delivered in a blended mode by judiciously mixing the components of resource based on self-learning, face-to-face counseling and workshops, and technology-enabled interaction and learning. The program shall be conducted with full professional expertise. Self-learning materials, both print and non-print SLM, should be prepared based on the principles of instructional design and the pedagogy of self-learning. Then, in a program of 2 years duration, the personal contact program must be conducted at the headquarters and or the study centers which are convenient to the learners. Academic counseling sessions should be spread over the entire duration of the program and be conducted on regular basis depending on the convenience of the learners. So a minimum of 144 study hours spread over 2 years shall be devoted to the counseling sessions in the form of tutorials. And another point is that workshops should be organized so that the learners shall acquire competencies and skills required by a teacher or teacher educator. The study centers shall make arrangements for practice teaching in classrooms and in simulated situation. The learners shall also be provided training in the preparation and use of ICT by involving them in the preparation of teaching aids, research tools, and so on. Then another point is the learners pursuing teacher education courses through distance education should be involved in activities which a teacher is supposed to perform in the school. Then the the learners enrolled in the DLED program should go through a teaching practice in the designated schools under the supervision of the teacher or the academic counselor. The headquarters staff should develop curriculum, self-learning materials, model lesson plans, and audio-visual materials for the use at the study centers. Then there is also the point that institution offering ODL programs shall maintain their website to enable learners to have access to all the learning materials and resources. And then there should be provisions for interactions among the peers to facilitate faculty-student discussion on suitable social media platforms to enhance the productivity of the learners. Adequate number of learner support services should be made available in all the headquarters and study centers. Then, continuous and comprehensive evaluation as well as term end examination should be used in the institution for the evaluation of learners of teacher education program. This is a very important point. And due weightage should be given on continuous and comprehensive evaluation, including for participation and also performance in the various workshops. Then there is another evaluation strategy, that is of the assignments, project reports submitted by the learners, and these reports and assignments should be evaluated by the tutors or counselors in a given time frame, and they should be returned to them along with constructive comments and suggestions so that the learners can improve their performance. The primary function of the evaluation of the assignments and projects should be to provide timely feedback to the learners to sustain their motivation and enhance their ability to comprehend. The external evaluation should encompass questions of all the units of the syllabus and should be accessed through objective type, short answer type, long answer type questions. The weightage for internal and external evaluation may be in the ratio of 30 and 70. Now, let us move on to understand the ODL regulations for the B.Ed program of NCTE. B.Ed is a professional program that prepares the teachers for upper primary, that is from classes 6 to 8, secondary classes, that is classes 9 to 10, as well as senior secondary, that is from classes 11 to 12 levels. In the distance mode, the Bachelor of Education, that is B.Ed, is a professional program for in-service teachers. It is a second degree of teacher education, primarily intended for upgrading the professional competence of in-service teacher in the upper primary, secondary, senior secondary levels who have entered the profession without formal secondary teacher training. The NCTE approved Bachelor of Education program through open and distance system for the purpose of preparing the in-service teacher for the secondary stage of education in accordance with the notification of the NCTE with regard to minimum qualification for requirement as a teacher. The duration of the program should be of 2 academic sessions or years. However, the learners should be permitted to complete the program within a maximum period of 5 years. Now, the curriculum of the B.Ed is offered through face-to-face mode. Hence, the nomenclature of the program should be same and will be referred to as B.Ed. The curriculum will be transacted to systematize and structure the past teaching experiences, gathering while teaching, since the distance mode will cater to the in-service school teachers. The program should use blended learning modality. So this rules and regulations are almost similar to the DLED course, and these also follow this course, B.Ed course also follow the same steps or rules for the program. I again talk about the blended learning modality for design, development, and delivery of the program. The B.Ed program should be transformed into distance mode consisting of blocks units as per credit hours of the study. The self-learning materials developed by the institution should be approved by the Distance Educational Council or Bureau. The B.Ed program of distance mode is aimed to prepare the teachers who are able to continuously access and improve their professional practice as teachers. Regarding implementation of the B.Ed program, the following points should be taken into account. Firstly, the university or institution should develop curriculum-based audio-visual resources on its own or adapt such resources from other institutions. The program should be delivered in a blended mode by judiciously mixing the components of resource-based self-learning, face-to-face counseling, workshop, and technology-enabled interaction and learning. Both print and non-print self-learning materials should be prepared based on the principles of instructional design and the pedagogy of self-learning. Then, in a program of 2 years duration, the personal contact program must be conducted as the headquarters and or the study centers convenient to the learners. This program should cover counseling, workshop, seminar, presentations, report writing, and so on. Then another point is that the academic counseling sessions should spread over the entire duration of the program and be conducted on a regular basis depending on the need and convenience of the learners. Then after these counseling sessions, the workshop is also a very necessary point and should be organized so that the learners can acquire competencies and skills required by a teacher or teacher educator. The learners pursuing teacher education courses through distance education mode should be involved in activities which a teacher is supposed to perform in the school. The learners enrolled in the B.Ed program should go through a teaching practice for 3 months in the school under the supervision of the teacher or the academic counselor. Then, the headquarters staff should develop the curriculum, self-learning materials, model lesson plans, and audio-visual materials for use at the study center. Then another point is that the institutions offering B.Ed through distance mode should maintain their website timely to enable the students to have access to all the learning materials and the resources. They should also facilitate ways so that the learners can keep in touch with their peers. It also helps to facilitate faculty-student discussion on suitable social media or different networking services. Adequate number of learner support services should be available in all the headquarters and study center. Along with that, continuous and comprehensive evaluation as well as term and examination should be used in the institution for evaluation of the learners for the teacher education programs. Due weightage should be given on continuous and comprehensive evaluation, including for participation and performance in the workshops as allotted in the curriculum framework for the B.Ed course. Then, assignments, progress, project reports submitted by the learners should be evaluated by tutors or counselors in a given period and returned to them along with constructive comments and suggestions so that they can improve their performance. The primary function of evaluation of the assignments or projects submitted by the learners should be to provide a timely feedback to them to sustain their motivation and enhance the ability to comprehend. The external evaluation shall encompass questions of all units from the syllabus and should be accessed through objective type, short answer type as well as long answer type questions. The weightage for internal and external evaluation may be in a ratio of 30:70. So with this, we have come to the end of this module. To just reiterate, we started off this unit by understanding the need for teacher education. We then moved on to briefly reflect back on teacher education as a concept and its definition. Finally, we moved on to understand the various ODL regulation for both the DL-Ed and B.Ed programs. Now we come to the end of this lecture for today. Thank you, learners.